No streaming error! No
What?
streaming error! Do you hear me? Ecamm Live. I'm going to talk to you people over there in Ecamm Live. You tried to stop today's show, but it's not going to happen because we know that wellness can come from within, and you want the pharmaceuticals to dominate, but it's not happening, baby.
No.
My name is Mark Cordone. Welcome to episode 187 of the Golden Mike Live. We got the beautiful, the lovely, the vivacious, the sexy Farrell Moore with us today. We're going to talk about a couple things, but Farrell, do you know why I've been through 187 episodes?
No, but you know that 187 means I love you?
Really?
Although that was 143. I'm sorry, wrong from like back in the day.
No, 187 is like gangster rap, baby.
Yes!
187.
187. I got it. No, why have you been on 187 times?
I've been on 187 times because you cannot cancel me, Farrell. You cannot. I produce my own show. You can't cancel me. So it's good to have you on. Welcome everybody who's watching to the Golden Mike Live. We are talking about how to awaken wellness from within, right? So like it's one thing for everybody to talk about wellness, and wellness being more than the absence of disease. But we often go to doctors and other people for that. We often put our lives in the hands of others and just trust them without intuitively understanding what's going on with us. Today we've got Farrell Moore, the very sexy. I already did it. We have Farrell Moore, and Farrell and I are talking for the first time. So this is like first date going on. We're meeting for the first time, blind date, thanks to Tracy Litt. Pranic healer, Reiki master, teacher, health and wellness coach, certified health educator, Red Hat, Floridian. What else can I say that you are?
Oh, mother of twins.
Mother of twins, right?
All boys. I've got 3.5, but they're all boys. So I've got lots of energy, man. I got it.
Amazing. So we are going to talk about this idea of wellness from within and what that means, especially from a pranic and a Reiki master and a wellness coach. If you haven't met me, my name is Mark Cordone. I am a positive psychologist. I am the founder of Make Money Coaching as well as the Joy Revolution. But more importantly, as a positive psychology coach, I get to ask people like Farrell on a regular basis 2 questions. It's a double-barreled question, Farrell. Number 1, how happy are you today? And then
I am so happy today because I get to pour into everybody else and get poured into by Mark. So, I mean, it's a win-win.
It is a win-win. And then number 2, the other question that I have for you is, how much are you living in your purpose today?
So I am actually very much living in my purpose today, and I'm very thankful that I'm able to do that because there was a time when I wasn't. And figuring out how to awaken the wellness within will get you to the point where you are living within your purpose.
I love it. So for those of you who are also feeling what Farrell's feeling right now, purpose and happiness, for me that's called flourishing. And when you're flourishing, you're putting yourself at a position to be happier with all scales of life, any part of the wheel of life that you're spinning on right now, spirituality, growth, relationships, work, just overall satisfaction with life. If you're feeling good and you also have high purpose, hit that heart. Let us know you are alive. Hit that heart, baby. Let us know you're alive, okay? That was it. How does it make the heart beat down there in Boynton? Beautiful. So here's the other thing. A lot of people think that positive psychology has to do with 24/7 shits and giggles. Farrell on her Pegasus with her three kids throwing out Skittles to the world, doing this. I don't even know how she does that, but the Skittles are flying around. Everyone's happy. Wrong. That's not what positive psychology is all about. It's more about understanding that life is about ups and downs and all arounds. And how do we take that and turn that all into opportunity? So you may be a person right now that's saying, Farrell, look, I was happy last week, and I don't know, maybe I ate some bad shellfish down there in Boynton Beach, and I'm not happy today. That's cool. That's cool. Or someone might be saying, like, I've been working a job for 30 years, and I've fallen out of love with the job. I have no purpose anymore. That is cool, too. The wheel of life keeps on turning. And you know what? It's part of your journey. And maybe one day you'll be able to tell your story on a show like this, or just join now, tell your story. So give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you may not be flourishing, but maybe some of the things that we might say today might wash over you, and will give you some things to think about in the future. Good luck to you. We love you. Now here's the last piece. The last piece is called hope. And I'm not talking about hope from the standpoint of getting on my knees. Getting on my knees and saying, Jesus, Jesus, drop Skittles from the sky. Right? No, hope is about you imagining what your fantastic future looks like, and then every single day walking towards that fantastic future. Farrell, are you hopeful today?
I am full of hope today.
So if you're full of hope, like Farrell is full of hope, like I'm full of hope, there's another button down there that I want you to hit, whether you're live or on the replay. It's called the wow face. And Farrell and I are going to show you what that wow face looks like. Give me that wow face, baby! Ah! Look at that first date. We're already making the wow faces with each other. Thank you, Farrell, for entertaining me in that first 10 minutes. But let's get right to it.
Okay.
Pranic healing, Reiki mass, all these things, amazing. We'll get to it.
Okay.
But when I say, what's your story? What comes up for you? What is your story?
So my story is actually probably one that everybody's had, right? I was that girl who had the expectations from family to do certain things in her life. And I got to a point in my mid-30s where I was like, I can't do this. This isn't who I am. And so I started seeking, right? Those of you out there that are seekers who kind of feel like you're just on the edge of trying to figure out what is it that I'm seeking. And I started looking into different modes of wellness. I went to the School for Integrative Nutrition to find out, is it the nutrition that I'm interested in? I went and studied Reiki. Was it the energy that I was looking for? I'm a certified educator. Did I just want to help students? I worked with kids with developmental disabilities at one point. Was that my calling? You know, it was just that, what's missing? And then I stumbled upon a couple of different things that truly broke me free. One was, you guys, you've got to do the heart work, right? It's not just the hard work.
The heart
it's
work.
The heart work, right? And the heart work is figuring out what lights you on fire.
Okay.
And that takes work. And working with a coach, if you have to do it yourself because you can't afford a coach, then actually doing that self-help. And then I found pranic healing. And pranic healing opened me up in a way I never thought possible, because while there is that healing aspect, it's also a spiritual way of life.
Now, did you work with Master Choa in pranic healing?
So unfortunately, I personally was not able to work with Master Choa because unfortunately he left his body in 2007.
Okay.
But I have worked directly with his masters. So there's 8 masters that he handpicked.
Mm-hmm.
We are lucky enough to have 2 of them on the East Coast.
Okay.
And so I have studied with them.
The ones in New York?
Master Co, who's on the West Coast, you've probably seen him with Tony Robbins.
Yep.
He travels with Tony Robbins.
And the one in New York.
And then there's, 4 or 5 others all around the country. All around the world.
Okay. I thought the other one in the United States was in New York. No?
Say it again?
I thought the other one in the United States was in New York.
There are 2 of them are in New Jersey.
Okay.
There are a couple. They're married. Master Marilog and Master Glenn.
Yep.
And then Master Co is in California, he lives in California, but so he does the whole West Coast.
Okay.
Then there's a master that does Canada and South America, and then you've got the rest of the world covered by other people.
Okay. I'll TMI already, but there's people tuning in, so I'll just say this. Master Marilog and Master Glenn, now they're married, they have a kid, a son, I think.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I used to date his ex-girlfriend.
That's amazing. What a connection.
I can heal, baby. I love
That's
it.
phenomenal.
Yeah. So I took pranic healing in New York for like a year and about a year, and the thing that was my introduction to energy, and I remember them being like, keep your energy clean, because I was staying at one of the master's houses. I walked into the house, and the leaves fell off of the tree. Like, I was smoking a cigarette at the time, like eating goat and pork, all the stuff they told us not to do. And I didn't take the shower with the salt and the coffee, and things happened. So I owe you guys a plant. But anyways, talk about this. Talk about this heart work. And what that meant for you.
So the heart work for me was really figuring out, it's about personal relationships. We can all do work, right? Heart work is about figuring out the personal relationship with yourself. What is it that you truly love? What is that passion that you have? Now, generally speaking, that passion isn't just about you. That passion is about somebody else as well. A large group of people. Most of us, when we talk about the heart work, it's that thing that when we start doing it, our energy goes up. When we start doing it, sometimes tears start to flow. And when I started working with wellness, both nutrition and energy, that's when my heart started to fill up. I started to care so much about people that were outside of my circle, people I didn't even know. And I started pouring myself into them. That's the heart work, right? Because sometimes we'll have a job, right? Whatever your job is.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily your heart work. Hopefully it is, right? Hopefully you get there. But it's not necessarily, but you can bring your heart work to your job.
Okay. So we might be going 90 miles a minute because we went, oh, no. Where did you go? I can't hear you.
Me? I'm right here. I didn't go anywhere.
Oh, okay. We might be going 90 miles a minute because we went right into pranic healing and energy and heart work. Let's take a step back for a second.
Okay.
What does energy and wellness, what does that have to do with each other, right?
Okay.
Because when most people think wellness, they think about maybe the dimensions of health, nutrition, right? Psychological, the body. What is this type of energy? Like, you're using energy right now. So what are you meaning by that?
Okay, so basically, if you think about everything around you, everything is energy. Absolutely everything. Your thoughts, your actions, your words, your body, absolutely everything is energy. Mm-hmm. So if you put negative energy out into the world, you're going to get negative energy back.
Okay.
If you're sitting in a room full of people, let's say you're in a meeting, and everyone around you is negative, that is going to affect you, whether you want it to or not. All of those things are your body is taking in. So that's one type of energy. From the wellness perspective, everything you put in your body has energy. Which is why when you were talking about pranic healing and not eating pork and all those things, it's the energetic levels of the things you're putting in your body that is the reason we don't eat those things.
Okay? Gotcha.
So from the energetic wellness perspective, you have a set of chakras, right? Now, most people know a 7 chakra system.
Yeah.
Now, nobody ever said there were only 7. In pranic healing, we have 11, actually 12, but 11, because there's a 12th one way up here. But there's 11 front and back. Those energy centers are what fuel or don't fuel our body's systems. Okay? They digest and distribute the energy throughout our bodies, which is why, as we were talking about pre-show, he said, how's my throat chakra? And I said, well, it's a little congested, but it's so easy to clean.
Yeah, my throat chakra was fucked right before the show. And I was like, my throat's all screwed up. And, like, she didn't even move a muscle, and I go,
I did actually move a muscle, you just didn't see it.
Oh, okay,
I did, I cleaned you real quick.
I loved you. Thank you. I appreciate
You're
that. Yeah.
my pleasure.
These chakras we can basically think of as part like a system that is an invisible system, but it's critical to the way that we communicate, the way that we see the world, the way that we are like people attached to us, right? Like I remember little cords coming out of people and attaching to me and having to cut them off, right?
Exactly. And
And
people who don't keep themselves energetically clean will find that they get sick more often.
okay,
Right?
now that's where I was gonna go. I wanted to
Yeah.
talk about what's the importance of having a healthy body system.
Okay. So one of the nice things about chronic healing is that it's supposed to be complementary to regular medicine. So we're not replacing doctors. We're working with them.
Yeah.
The regular allopathic medicine heals people from the inside out. So if you take a pill to get rid of a headache, it's healing your headache on the inside. What an energetic healer does is actually heals from the outside in, because you have 3 layers of energetic bodies on the outside. The idea is that's where the disease comes from, the outside.
Yeah.
Anything that happens to you is energy that's coming in, and as it comes in is where it settles into your system and then disease sets in. So if we can stop it
Yeah.
before it settles inside, we can, in theory, keep you clean and, in theory, keep you healthy. And I say in theory because there's a karmic piece to all of this as well, right?
Well, I mean that it felt very karmic. Sort of the energy that you put out is the energy that you receive in kind, right?
Yep.
I am curious. In terms of being able to take care of this energetic body, this energetic system,
Yeah.
do we have to have quote unquote special powers or psychic abilities to be able to do those kind of things?
No, everybody has this ability. Now, what I will tell you is you need to take a basic chronic healing class so that you know how to do it.
Right.
But it is something that everybody has the ability to do. And Master Ko actually wrote a book called Your Hands Can Heal, because the whole point of chronic healing, and Master Choa, Grandmaster Choa, said he wanted a chronic healer in every household. This is not a secret. However, we want it to be done correctly. And so that is why you should take the class.
Okay.
Because if you do it correctly, you do it well. There's 3 steps to it. There's cleaning, energizing, and stabilizing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's an energetic hygiene for the healing. And those things are super important. All of them.
I remember. Well, this is what I can tell you. I have not shared this with very many people. When I was taking the course, I went from like crazy smoker, with sex, drugs, rock and roll type of guy, right, with black hair, ironically. And I was, coming from a very devout Catholic background, right, and I started taking care of I started thinking about what I'm putting in my body, I can drink that Coke, or I can take something else in. I can eat that pig, or I can eat something like that came from the earth, right? And I'm sure this might have happened with you, but like I can't believe I'm sharing this with everybody. But soon, when we were doing the healings, I first could feel the holes, right, or the gaps, right, that needed some addressing. Then it started to turn gray, like I could start to see grayness around things. And then, like, as I practiced more, it became colors. I could see colors, right? And now I'm going off the crazy bit on episode 187. There was a day where I was in class and I saw I saw the outline of a energetic being, but there was no physical being there.
Oh.
It was huge. And it had huge shoulders, and it didn't feel intimidating at all. And it was and I was staring at it, and the teacher or the our instructor goes, Mark, do you like being stared at? And I was like, am I tripping balls right now? And I turned to the person next to me and I was like, do you see that? And she was like, yeah. And so she pulled me aside afterwards and was like, you're Catholic, right? So these are called helpers or guardian angels. They just show, and if they present themselves to you, it means it's like a cool thing for them to present themselves. Don't stare, you asshole. But the thing that I thought, Farrell, was that, and this is why I went to positive psychology, was that if there are things that good in the world, then there must be something equally that bad in the world. I still had a dual nature mind, a dualistic mind, right? And so I struggled with what I had seen and dualism. And as I've turned into a more of a radical non-dualist, I wish he'd show up some more. But I just wanted to throw that out there because I haven't had a pranic healer actually in the class before or on the show before. So that was my my rant and my whatever, where I'll talk about myself every now and then. Congratulations, you got me to talk about myself. But let's go a little bit more into how to awaken the wellness within, because whether it's pranic healing, whether it's Reiki, it's all within, and by the way, I became an amazing Catholic as a result of it, because I started seeing Jesus as a pranic healer.
So you would be surprised that you're absolutely right, by the way. He was.
Okay, awesome.
He was, absolutely.
And so, it made sense that, it's not me talking to God. It's there's this harmony, and there's this access that we have, and we all have that kind of gift. Jesus knew what was up, and he was showing us the way. He was showing us that we all had the power within. Speaking of the power within, let's talk about awakening the wellness within. That's called a segue, baby.
It was a perfect segue. Okay, so there's a few things that you can do. Now, one of the things, a lot of times we think about, and you kind of put this in the Facebook post that you had posted earlier, we think that because we're not sick, that we're well. And that's not necessarily true. If you are stressed out all the time, just because you don't get a cold or the flu, doesn't mean that you are well. One of the things that we need to do is breathe. And most people walk around the world and they don't know how to breathe. Right? We all shallow breathe. How many people breathe with their chest, which is not how you're supposed to breathe?
Right.
Supposed to breathe from your diaphragm.
Take a deep breath.
Your stomach is supposed to rise and fall when you breathe, but most people don't breathe that way. And you
gotta get that Buddha belly, baby.
Yeah. What's really interesting is your body requires that oxygen. So if you don't breathe completely and well, you're not allowing your system to sort of take that pause.
Okay. And so my take on it is that your body naturally goes into fight or flight if you're shallow breathing.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. But that's why. Because you're not giving your body the chance to sort of pause and reset itself so that you're not going into the fight or flight.
Okay.
So, for example, from a psychology standpoint, right, if you're in the middle of and I do this with my kids, if you're in the middle of a situation with your children and they're stressing you out, which kids do, if you're breathing from here, you're going to react because you're in that, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But if you take a second and you breathe on purpose, it resets your body so that you're not reacting, you're pausing, you're thinking, and then you're having a conversation.
Now, I want to talk about this breathing bit for a second here, because breathing is such a huge thing, right? All the way from box breathing, couple things, when you're feeling panicking, maybe make a straw to get rid of that fight or flight feeling, or the Herb Benson approach, right? To breathing, or meditation breathing in the morning, right?
Yeah.
like 15 minutes in the morning, is that enough to sustain you through the day?
Well,
Like
because you need to pause on purpose throughout your day.
I love when we fight. I love
Right?
when we fight. Yes.
I mean, it's enough. It's enough to get you to a place where you're going to start your day with purpose and intention.
Okay.
And it's very important to do that so that you're not running through your day from the time you start. But if you don't take a moment, even when there's nothing going on, and I mean a moment, you only need a minute, right? To just say, okay, I'm just going to breathe with intention so that you give your body that chance to kind of come back around and be fully oxygenated. Because it's not just about the psychology, it's also about fully oxygenating your body. Right? Those deep breaths that you take, the reason you feel so good is because you're oxygenating your whole body.
Right.
So there's that.
So what I'm hearing is every chance you can get, breathe.
Correct. Absolutely.
It's not that you put it in your scheduler for the first fucking 15 minutes of the day and then you're good. It's more along the lines of practice, and when you find yourself deviating from it, it's probably when you need to do it the most.
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha.
And the other thing about it too is remember that breathing is something that just happens for us. Like it's automatic. So if you don't focus on it, then you're not allowing that full oxygenation and the psychological part of it to happen.
Okay.
Because it's just you're on autopilot.
Right.
It's the idea of bringing yourself out of autopilot to focus on it.
Gotcha.
Where it works.
Okay,
Yeah.
Breathing.
Breathing.
Let's start with breathing. Where do we go next?
Water. I can only tell you that if you did nothing else besides breathing and drinking water, you would be considerably more healthy than you are right now.
This sounds like an episode of Naked and Afraid.
I don't want to see anyone naked, and I don't want anyone to be afraid. But although it's an interesting show. But you'll notice, I mean, I drink water all day. Here's the things that people forget, right? We've been taken over by soda. We've been taken over by juice. They've told us all that, Gatorade and Powerade, it's going to give you the electrolytes you need to get through your workout. Listen.
Sugar water.
You want clear skin? Do you want to sleep well? Do you want to not feel like you've got a beach bell in your belly? Drink water. Just water. Nothing else.
And buy Farrell Moore's brand of water.
Now, I will also tell you that it's the same thing if you think about it this way. How many of you shower every day? Well, we shower every day because we clean the outside of our body. Drinking water cleans the inside.
Gotcha.
It gets all the toxins out.
And I know for a brain perspective, that's the first thing you need to do in the morning is get that water into the brain because the brain needs it. The brain needs and oxygen as well. A lot of people forget. For those of you traveling, like even little things like flying on a plane dehydrates the crap out of you.
Terrible.
Yeah. So okay. So it's like the ABCs of inner wellness, but also at the same time, when you overlay this with the energy body that you're talking about, now you're talking about holistic wellness from an inside-out approach.
Correct.
So water, breathing. What else do we got going on?
So I think it's really important. You're going to think this is silly, but smile. Truly, just smile. Now, I'm not saying you have to find something funny, and I'm not saying that you have to laugh, but just the small tweak of changing your perspective and stopping and smiling can change the entire mood of your whole day.
Now, when you talk about smiling, Farrell, are you talking about smiling like you mean it, or just push your lips to the side and wrinkle your eyes?
No, I mean pause, think of something that makes you happy, and smile.
Okay.
Because here's what happens. So many of us are so stressed out, and stress, by the way, is what's going to cause most people to die early. Like, that's just the reality. And so the tips that I'm giving you are things that can help relieve that stress and awaken the wellness that you have within, right? When you're forced to go think of something that makes you happy and you smile, you're suddenly releasing serotonin in your brain. You know this from a positive psychology perspective. And suddenly your whole body relaxes because you're happy.
Preach, mama. Preach, mama.
So instead of sitting there in your as I call it, your think about something beautiful. Think about a butterfly flying around your window. Whatever it is. This is what I tell my kids when they're having nightmares. Think about your favorite place to go and then go to sleep. Where's your favorite place? Is it an amusement park? Is it the beach? Whatever it is, and then smile. And then you'll be able to do whatever you need to do. And tackle anything if you smile.
That. Absolutely love that. For those watching live or on the replay right now, hit that smile with me. If you're smiling right now, let's smile together. If you're smiling right now, let us know that you're alive and smiling. There you go, hitting the heart, damn you. I said damn you.
Love it.
Hitting that heart, I love it, I love it. It's not rocket science, but when we start putting it together, there's hormones in the brain released. We're taking care of the brain with water and breathing. We're getting ourselves out of fight or flight and going into relaxation so we can ground ourselves to get into flow. And not only that, we're taking the energy, our energy body, and we're supplementing it with good stuff. Damn you, George! Damn you! Love you too, Georgie. Love it. I love it. So we're talking about smiling, we're talking about water, and we're talking about breathing. What else do we got going on?
Okay, well then of course we get into the bigger things, right? Nutrition and then self-care. So, I say them together because I feel like nutrition should be part of your self-care.
Sure. But
for some reason, when we say nutrition, people go running in the other direction. They're like, no, she's going to talk about a diet. Okay, I'm not going to talk about a diet. Listen, food makes people happy. My husband is a chef, okay? Oh. So I get it. You don't have to give up your favorite foods. I'm not asking you to. What I'm telling you is have a bite, a piece, one small serving of something that you love instead of having half a pie, right? 70 pieces of Halloween candy.
Oh, come on now. This is just getting off the rails now.
You know, I mean, let me just say. But, like, I think, there's so much of the dieting things out there. I think the biggest thing that people need to understand is that you can live a healthy lifestyle if you live in moderation. Right?
So instead of eating 30 of my Hooters chicken wings, I'll eat 27.
Okay, that's a good start. Eat 27 and drink a gallon of water. It's very salty. But in all seriousness, like, when you're making those choices, it's like, if you want chicken wings, have chicken wings. Because here's what's going to happen if you don't. If you don't have it, the next time you go to have it, you're going to gorge on it.
You're going to go crazy on it, yeah.
Right?
You're going to go Augustus Gloop on it.
Right.
Yeah.
So say to yourself, okay, I'm going to have my chicken wings, but I'm going to have 10, and then I'm going to have a salad. Right? Because then I'm going to have my vegetables.
I'm going to have a leaf of salad. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
I got you. I understand. People are people are afraid of lettuce.
No, Daddy loves his salad. Daddy loves his kale too. His kale. Yeah.
Kale.
Almonds,
I was listening to a podcast yesterday where somebody said, I can't remember who it was, but somebody said kale has the best publicist in the world. Because it's kind of crazy to look at, and not everybody loves the taste, but man, that publicist for kale is just off the charts.
I need that publicist.
We all do.
And of course, George answers with, "Damn you to hell."
Go, George. Okay, so nutrition. When I say nutrition, all I'm saying is balance, right? Keep things in perspective. You want to just make sure that you're balancing your protein, your carbs, and your fat. Don't go too high on one and too low on the other. Make sure you move your body, and you'll be fine, right? It's just we tend to either eat too much of one and then sit on the couch. Right? You just have to balance. It's just about balance.
Okay. I love it. And also at the same time, when it comes to nutrition, remembering, again, what we started with was some very high-level stuff about the energetic body. And the energetic body feeds off of what you put into your own body. So if you put in shit, then you're going to have all gunky chakras and that need to be all cleaned out and stuff like that. You know, like, it affects everything. Damn you. Damn you.
It does. And the other thing, too, is to keep in mind that there are certain ailments that thrive on certain nutritional factors. For example, they've proven that cancer thrives on sugar.
My goodness.
Now, that doesn't mean that it causes cancer. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if you have that diagnosis, don't sit and eat buckets and buckets of sugar because it will feed off of that.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha. Now let's go
from an energetic standpoint, think about what you're putting in your body. If you know when you eat something you feel terrible afterwards, listen to your body.
Listen to your heart.
Right?
Because
your body will tell you. If I eat a plate of pasta and I don't have anything else, I feel awful. Awful. It tastes good, but I feel terrible.
Okay, so let's go right into the sort of the
self-care.
The piece of that. Yeah, self-care.
Okay. So it's interesting because self-care, I feel like, follows a lot of positive psychology. Okay? Because there's 8 domains that I focus on when I talk about self-care. Okay? There's the psychological self-care, which is basically things like practicing mindfulness, being creative, being a problem solver, really kind of using your brain to take care of yourself. So working your way through problems. Okay, so that's the psychological perspective. Then there's an emotional perspective. And this is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is very simply figuring out how to manage yourself through the various types of things that happen in your life. Positive, negative, being empathetic, having compassion, right? Absolutely. Super important that you focus on that because the emotional self-care is a lot of what drives us into being unwell.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially when you're talking about things like emotions that we either try to avoid or stuff down. Mm-hmm. That's not a very good way of self-caring. Or we take those emotions and we shove them under the rug. They come back. And they come back to bite us in the ass sometimes.
And they do energetically as well.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay,
yeah.
So we got
then we've got the social aspect.
Yep.
Okay, and this is hard for a lot of people, but you got to make sure that your social interactions are actually good for you.
Yep.
We all have people in our lives that are, not so great for us, but we tend to hang out with them anyway. So trying to cultivate positive relationships.
I love it. I have to throw this out there really quick because it's part of the joy revolution. Aristotle talked about 3 types of relationships. The first one is an interactional relationship. I got money, I'll give you something, you give me service. That's not a healthy relationship. The one above that is a hedonic relationship. I only hang out with Farrell when we go get beers and wings, and we don't talk about anything else. And it's just because we're fun time football buddies, and we know nothing of each other. But then when the shit hits the fan, we're not there for each other because we don't know anything. And then the top layer of relationships is called the virtuous relationship, and this one is where my ultimate happiness as Farrell's friend is seeing Farrell reach her ultimate level of happiness. And if that rings true to any of you, especially who are parents, that's the type of like healthy relationships that I think that you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Then there's the financial, and this one is huge. When we talk about self-care, it's learning to be responsible with your money. Because money, and I've heard this said in a bunch of different ways, right? You from a religious perspective, money is the root of all evil, which, by the way, is not true because money is neutral, right? The money itself is neutral.
Yes.
How you think about it is the issue. So it's becoming conscious of your expenses. It's also having that idea, and I've always lived this way with money with my friends. If you're out with someone, take them to lunch. It'll come back to you. Mm-hmm. Don't think about it. Don't keep a checklist. Don't be well, last time she bought it, so this time it's my turn. Or don't do that.
That would agree that your mindset is that your friendship is just an interactional friendship then, where
Correct.
you have to keep score with each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. We got a couple things. Azraella just is popping in saying, Mark, I love your new hair. Must be eating the kale or something. Yes! Finally someone recognized the new hair. It's pink and purple, baby, for the new year. Azraella came back and said, my religion agrees with you, Farrell. So yeah.
Right?
I thought...
Which is perfect segue because the next one is spiritual. Right? So, and
Azraella, you're a plant.
Right? When I say spiritual, hear my heart, okay? Spiritual encompasses every possible religion on the planet. Okay? Because your beliefs and your values come from whatever that is for you. There is no right, there is no wrong. It's important that your guiding life beliefs come from whatever that practice is for you.
Even if you're a nihilist.
Even if that. It doesn't matter. Your guiding life beliefs have to come from whatever makes you feel whole. Okay?
Amazing.
All right. And then there's environment. Now, let me tell you something. You have to make your environment work for you. Whatever that looks like. Whether it's really super organized, like oh stinky clean, or not. But you need to make sure that you understand that whatever your outside looks like is what your inside is going to look like. Right? So if your whole area, your whole house, your whole office, your whole everything is cluttered, your brain is also cluttered. So even if it's only one room in your house, like my office, I have 3 kids. My house is a disaster. But my office, my desk space, where I work, is not. Okay? It may have stacks, but my stacks are neat and organized by things. Okay? Then you have your professional, which is make sure that whatever you're doing professionally feeds your soul.
Yep.
And if it doesn't, that you're bringing something to your profession that does.
Right.
For example, I was a certified educator. I worked in the school system. I was an assistant principal for a while. What I had to do to make that okay for me was to bring in all of this work to what I was doing in the schools. Because, listen, it's not easy.
Yeah, I'm feeling
you. Physical movement. That's the last one. Get up, honey, put on some music and dance around your house. Fine. Listen, use your broom as a microphone. Whatever you've got to do to get your body moving, that's what you need to do.
I love it. I love it. So if we go around the self-care wheel, basically, right?
Yep.
It's the psychological part, the emotional part, your social interactions, the way that you look at finances and flow it in or hold on to it or whatever behaviors you're doing. Take note. Having some spiritual guidance system. The environment, basically the way things look on the outside is how things are probably on the inside, especially where you work. And then when it comes to professional, understanding the difference between a job and a calling.
Correct.
Right? And then finally, moving.
Yep. Get your body moving.
Moving. Now, I wanted to throw these pieces together because I love how you kind of made a distinction between all the different areas of self-care. And I think there's one other piece to self-care that we can add there.
Sure.
And because I think that self-care has become something of a reactive behavior, in which that once shit hits the fan, you start seeing people go on, Instagram, and there's the toes in the water and the glass of wine and the candle, and it's like self-care day, right?
Right.
Whereas self-care is something that can be a lot more proactive rather than reactive. Making sure that your psychological well-being is always always in a good place before you start languishing.
Correct.
Do you feel the same way? Yeah,
I do.
Yep.
And what I will tell you is, I used to do a self-care Saturday on Facebook and Instagram where I just kind of reminded people, hey, do something for yourself today. I will tell you that if you put in even if it's 5 minutes in the morning, one of my favorite self-care practices is I don't look at this thing for the first 15 minutes I'm awake. And that's hard. It's really hard because my business is on this thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the reality is that if I get up and the first thing I do is look at my phone, I'm taking off running. If I get up and I go and I take my shower and I brush my teeth and I take my 5 minutes to breathe and center and then look at my phone, I'm not taking off running. I am intentional. That alone is self-care.
I love how you just threw your phone down there by the microphone.
Listen, it's a tool, but it's also
it's a brick. It's a brick now. Okay, so I feel we just went into flow, sister.
Yeah, we did.
First time we met, you knocked it out of the park. For those watching the replay and still here, hit those hearts till we end the show. I want you to go to Instagram and add More Wellness Studio to your Instagram.
Please do.
To follow I keep calling you Farrell.
It's okay.
Farrell. Is it Farrell or Pharrell?
No, it's Farrell. Yeah.
Okay. Because I started thinking about the guy with the big hat. That's all crazy where you want to say. So anyways.
If only I could sing like him.
Yeah, exactly. So I want you back. I want you back. I want you to come back on the show. I know you're going to be down there with Tracy Litt. Tracy Litt's going to come on the show as well. She's going to rock the house, and we're going to be saying damn you to hell all the time, too, when she's here. But here's why the show's called The Golden Mic, Farrell.
Okay.
I want you to envision that a golden mic down there in Boynton Beach is coming down from your ceiling and coming to rest in front of you, right?
Okay.
Now, this golden mic has the power to project and amplify to every person all across the world and translate into every language across the world, and actually can go across the multiverse and can be heard by every sentient being, but they can hear it anyways, right? So there might be not everybody's going to pick up what you're throwing down, but there are some people who are in the right spot at the right time who are ready to hear what it is that you have to say in the golden mic. So Pharrell Moore, your golden mic is live now.
Okay, I want you to live in your wellness. You have the gift within you to awaken all that you desire. All you need to do is tap into your heart, and you too can awaken the wellness within.
Pharrell, I want you to. We're gonna hand the golden mic off tomorrow. We're gonna hand the golden mic to another person tomorrow. But before you go, I want you to feel the weight, the gravity of what you just spoke into, right? And I want you to take it in, right? Hold that golden mic for a second, because you know that you can speak into that golden mic whenever you want, sister. And with that said, take that golden mic and throw that golden mic on the floor. Mic drop, baby. Have your 3 kids jump on it, dance on it, do what you want on it. Do what you want on that golden mic. Pharrell Moore, thank you so much for being on the show. Hit the hearts. Go to her Instagram. My name is Mark Cordone, and Pharrell and I have one last question for you, and it's this. If you're feeling happy today, if you're living in your full purpose, what is your responsibility to change history for the better? This is Golden Mike 187. We'll see you tomorrow. 187!